Taking a random point in the charts and I'm limiting myself without bias. So this is not planned. I haven't seen any of this price action beforehand ahead of this video, and I'm not using the higher time frame for bias. I'm limiting myself to the 15-minute and under. So let's see how it goes. So I'm going to pick a random point here, as you can see, whatever it may be, and that's what it is. I don't know where we are, and let's go to the 15-minute and begin. All right, so it's Tuesday here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let price go to the AM session of the following day, and we're going to see what price does to this point. Again, limiting myself. Heading into this AM session, as you can see, we dumped quite significantly, and right off the bat, my area of interest is this low right here. I think price can definitely gravitate to this sell side liquidity level, and then I would observe what price does to that point after. If I look here, do we have anything below that? We also have this level right here. So we have several levels and objectives to the downside that we can come tap into. So there we are. And then paired with that, we have a 15-minute bullish imbalance right here. All right. Let me go to the 5-minute, see what I'm looking at. On the 5-minute, we do have objectives to the upside that we can come tap into. It's definitely doable. We have highs here, equal highs right here. On the 15-minute, I'm going to mark out this level right here. We have buy side right here. So we do have objectives here that we can come tap into. So heading into the session, I'm going to look to see what price does. Does it give me any confirmations to potentially target the upside? Or are we just going to dump continuously? So we take that level here, we sweep buy side right here. I'm going to slow down the way price delivers. We're in that AM session. Still nothing in terms of price action just yet. Market open is well on its way here. And what do I see price do to this point? Low, high, lower, low. We come from a lower low here. We're in this bullish gap here on the 1-minute. Sweeping sell side reversal. A change of state. And market open is in just a few minutes. And we start to see price expand off that point. If we inverse this gap right here, I would look for longs targeting that buy side. That's not what we do. Market open, we come and we dump. Okay, that's fine. That's what I was waiting to see. We come and we sweep the low once more. All right, so now I have the basis for my trade. If we do form a setup here, I would likely look for longs. We come and sweep this low. We leave these highs behind. Still sweeping liquidity right here. If I go to the 15-minute once more, we check and say, okay, we still have this gap here. Do we have any lower levels here that we can come tap into? Well, we have this here that price can come tap into. But really besides that, nothing of much interest here. And then we have bullish gaps here below. So again, going completely through this gap here. And then going to see what price does to this point. So we come sweep this level right here. So here's the sell side liquidity level right here. I want to see what price does from that point. We have equal highs left above right here. That can definitely be taken at some point. And so equal highs right here. So we have objectives there to come tap into. We expand off that point, inverse this gap right here. Inverse gap alongside breaker, bullish gap here. All right, for me, here is my entry. Stop below the low. We get the confirmations and we have clear equal, relative equal highs to target right here. So to me, this is a good setup to take. Obviously, this is a 2-to-1 R. Now the entry is going to be a little bit less optimal given that we're market entering here. So target something like that. Profit here. Stop loss right here. And let's see what price does to this point. So clear target there that I think price can definitely gravitate towards. And there we go. Very nice move. Off the sweep of sell side right here. What do? We displace above, form this bullish gap, inverse this bearish gap, change the state right here with clear objectives to the upside that we can come tap into. And honestly, we could even potentially head higher. But for me, with that session, 2-to-1 R, I'm fine with that. Now let's see if price does end up gravitating to those highs. And there you are. So yes, the objectives were correct there. We got the proper entry. The objectives were absolutely correct. So very nice, very well done there. So nice trade there to begin the first day. Again, this is not planned. As you saw, I picked a random point. I wasn't even looking at price action.
Y si tuvieras las herramientas correctas, ¿hasta dónde llevarías a tu empresa? Te presentamos Alpha ERP, un software administrativo.
Or I'm noticing that price hasn't been delivering too well overnight. No, that's absolutely okay. We have draws here for price. We've done damage to the upside. So we have sell side right here. Sell side liquidity. We have a 50-minute bullish gap right here. That price can come tap into at some point. If we come sweep this low, maybe even come for this low as well. Let's see. But I'm not the biggest fan of the way price is delivering. Okay, so what am I seeing price do here? We have a 50-minute bearish gap right here. So I'm going to observe here now what price does, because price has done damage to the upside. So the damage has been done to the upside. Here we are, we took these highs here. Damage has been done to the upside, and we have objectives to the downside that we can come tap into potentially. So I want to see if price taps into this 50-minute bearish gap and then forms a potential entry in the direction of sell side right here. And instead we do go to those draws. We don't, well, hold on, let's see if we do tap into those draws, but didn't give me, yeah, so we tapped into that draw. We just didn't sweep, or sorry, tap into this 50-minute bearish imbalance right here. So, I mean, it is what it is. You know, I would have waited for that test of that 50-minute bearish imbalance. Didn't get it. That's okay. Sweep of sell side right here. I want to look on the 1 minute, see if there are objectives that we can come tap into, and we actually do have potential objectives here. We have equal highs right here. That's really all I have interest in. Why? Because damage has been done to the upside before this. If you look to the upside here, the damage has been done here, so I don't have an interest in seeing price go there. I'm going to see if we get a potential entry. If we don't, then it is what it is. And so those draws absolutely correct here. Direction's correct. I would have liked to see a retrace into this gap. Did not get it. So we did not get it. That's the reality of it. Tapped into these equal highs right there. So we got a sweep liquidity right here. On the 5 minute, do we have a bearish gap here? I mean, this minor one right here we do. On the 50 minute, do we have a bearish gap here? Do we tap into this bearish gap right here? That's what I'm going to look at. Well, let's see here. We do tap into this bearish gap right there on the 50 minute bearish imbalance right here. This sell side has been swept, so no need for that. So from this point, do we have a potential lane for the downside? Why? Because the damage has been done to the upside. And so I don't really have an interest in coming here or seeing price come here because it's already done its damage. Whereas to the downside, we do have potential damage that we can still get done. So we have sell side right here. Haven't even tapped into this bullish gap either. Going to see what price does. So we inverse this gap here. So if you would look for a trade, you could potentially take it off this inverse gap here. That is a potential opportunity to go short right here. Something along the lines of this. Now I'm not going to execute this one, but that is the framework of a trade you can take right there. So something along the lines of that. But what are you noticing here in terms of this price action? We've come 1 minute low, 1 minute high, 1 minute low. We're ranging to this point, and so probably would not look for a trade here to this point. Sweep sell side right here, and there really isn't much for me to take. And the way price is delivering is not optimal. So that's it. Nothing for me in this session. I mean, that one inverse gap trade is probably the only trade that I would have had interest in. And so that's that. So after 2 days, one trade, and the other day, no trade. So that's one win, and the other day, nothing to take. So moving on to the next session. Again, limiting myself to the 50-minute and under. I mean, we get quite a move here to the upside heading into that 9 a.m. Here we are. So we sweep this high right here. If I look on the 50-minute, are there any objectives here that we can come tap into? Well, immediately what I look at is okay, we have this high right here that we can come tap into. Let's see, did we tap into this high right here? And then on the 15-minute, we have a bearish imbalance above this high right here. So those are things I'm noting down. And what I'm looking to see is, okay, is there a willingness to come lower, or are we going to rebalance and then make a move to these highs? So that's what I'm paying attention to. So we rebalance right here. 15-minute bullish gap right here. And a 15-minute bullish gap right here. Based on what I'm seeing here, until I see a significant change in the way price is delivering, I would look towards the upside. So I'll bring that here. We'll bring that here. market open is literally in the next minute here, so we're going to see how price delivers, but I would likely lean, although I am noticing that, look at these lows here. So we do have lows, we do have objectives, but we'll see what price does. We could rebalance here, very, very easily rebalance. So we get an internal sweep here. And I'm going to look to see if we do catch a long here. So right now, no entry here to take. Come another internal sweep right here. We dump and come into this gap here. So second gap is being tested. So we get that internal sweep right here. We have this bullish gap right here. And so this is the framework of the trade you can look to take. Is it optimal? Not necessarily. I would have liked to see a bit of a better reaction in the way in price. So I'm going to skip out on this. No change in the state here to the downside. But there are objectives we can come tap. So I'm still acknowledging that there are objectives here that we can come after. So like I said, these highs here, we definitely could come after them. And price goes completely beyond it. Didn't get that change in the state, so I wasn't a big fan. Internal sweep right here. All right, now I'm looking to see what price does from this point. Do we regard this internal sweep and then come for these highs that we've generated here? Or do we just go completely beyond it and then come for these lows? And we do have news that occurred here at 8:30, so.
Habla cualquier idioma con solo tocar un botón. Sí, ahora es posible. Conoce Enense, el
Let's see what price does at this point. Inverse gap right here. Bullish gap right here. And then this would be a change in the state right here. So I would look to go long there. Obviously the entry won't be optimal, and I would target something like that. Now, ideally, I would wait for the entry here, which would be an almost 2-to-1 R off this breaker here. But because the fact that we're not going to place limit orders, we're backtesting, I'm going to take a market entry right here. It is what it is. And we'll target some of these highs. So we'll scale out a bit of our position here at these highs, and then most of our trade will be there. So entry right here, internal sweep, rebalance. Clearly the bias is bullish. Target that high, and then we will scale out some of our position if we get it to those highs. So let's see how price delivers here. So there's take profit 1 hit, taking out 3 cons there, and we'll leave the rest for that high right here. We'll bring stops to break even there, so profitable trade here regardless. And so let's see what price does to this point. Comes to that high again. You could have scaled out another con here. Why? Because that's a significant high. But I scaled out 3 cons here, and so I'll just take the profit there. And yeah, whatever happens, happens. Stops to break even, so that's that. Starting to chop around. Don't like how price is delivering to this point. Again, it's sort of died down the way price is delivering here. But you're starting to see just what I look for in terms of price here, and I'm limiting myself to only a few time frames. Okay, let's turn up the speed here and see what price does. And there we go. So full take profit hit there once again. 106 points, 107 points almost to that draw on price. And I'm limiting myself to literally 15 minutes and under. No higher time frame bias. Nothing for us to refer to in terms of higher time frame. We get that rebalance to this 15-minute bullish bounce, internal sweep. That's why I didn't go long here. I like to get an internal sweep, and that's where I place my stop below, because if you have the direction right, the timing right, and your levels are correct, which they were, price shouldn't come back to this low if we're truly gonna go higher. And we had this low resistance here. We had objectives to the upside. And so that's a very nice trade. Now, this is a 1.46 to 1 R, not great, but had we had taken the limit entry at this breaker, let's say, you'd get a 1.76. If you would wait for this fair value gap here, it'd be at 2.6. So that's the basis of this trade. And so there, in 3 days, we're 2-0 there. 2 wins, no losses in 3 days. So we're in that Friday now. Probably gonna give it a couple more days, and we'll see what we do here. But now you're just starting to see how I analyze the markets, and I'm limiting myself here. So it's my limited analysis, only because we're on the 15-minute being our highest time frame. I mean, what I'm seeing right now is pretty clear here already. Look at these highs that we're leaving behind. Generated highs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. lots and lots of highs above that we're leaving behind. All right, we're approaching the AM session. And I'm going to mark out my areas of interest. We have this high right here. Now, we don't necessarily need to target all the way up. That's not necessary. But we have the framework here using the 15-minute time frame. That at least makes sense. No sweep liquidity here. We're in this big 15-minute bullish imbalance right here, being respected to this point. And I'm just gonna move this left just to make it much cleaner. I want to see a sweep of liquidity here. Something worth taking to then make a move to the upside. So if market open pushes it up, then I probably wouldn't take anything here. And so if you look on the lower time frame, these draws on price are pretty nice. If you look right here, we have equal highs right here. So these are clean draws for price. And so using the 50-minute, we really don't get too much. The sweep was done here. We're in this 50-minute bullish imbalance right here. So the damage was done to the downside. We get this internal sweep right here. So I mean, you could look to take a trade right here. Is it the greatest of setups? Not necessarily. Why? Because we don't have a clean sweep, but we do have an internal sweep here. External range is right here. So we inverse these two bearish gaps, formed a bullish gap right here. I will take a shot at it right here. 50-minute bullish imbalance being rebalanced too. The reason why I'm not going to wait for a sweep is because the damage was done right here. The damage has already been done to the downside. Clear draws above. For me, I'll take a shot at it here. Again, the R to R is not going to be the greatest. Again, this one is a true 1.5 to 1 R, right? So two wins so far. And so for this one, again, it has to be a market order. It is what it is. Or else the entry would be somewhere there. So let's see what price does to this point.
Ha empezado la cuenta atrás. Hay un nuevo mundo. ¿Estás preparado? En los últimos días...
And I take profit 1 if we tap it. We'll take some of our position off there. Not yet tapped. There we go. So there's take profit 1, stops to break even. And full take profit hit there for around 68 points, utilizing that rebalance model once more. Why did I think this was okay to take? And I took it because, like I said, the damage was already done before AM session to the downside. Clear draws to the upside that I pointed out. So on the 1 minute, we got that internal sweep, post-market open, internal sweep, clear displacement to the upside, bearish gaps here being disrespected, bullish gap here being respected here to this point, and then clear equal highs above here, low resistance here, clear high above, with clear draws to the upside. And so that's the trade they're taking. So that's 4 days, 3 wins, 0 losses. And as you can see, also on the 15-minute, it wasn't just the lower time frame draws. The 15-minute, we had draws to the upside as well. So let's go into the next day. This will likely be the last day for me to backtest here. Again, limiting myself to 1 time frame in terms of a relatively even higher time frame analysis. And just the lower time frame, and that's all. I'm seeing what we can get done here. All right, so what do I see here? We have lows right here that we can come tap into potentially. So sell side right here. We do have lots of highs here that we've left behind though. To me, I'm definitely gonna pay attention to that. So immediately, when you're in a session, the first thing you're looking at is liquidity. And we do have lots of liquidity here to the upside that we could come tap into. Equal highs right here. So we do have levels here that we can come tap into to the upside. Okay, so let's see what price does now heading into the session. Hold on, that's not what I wanted to see. So price comes and we get an internal sweep right here. Internal sweep right here of sell side. Generated the liquidity here, swept it right here, heading into market open. We have objectives to the upside. If I get the confirmations on the lower time frame, I would look for a potential move to the upside here. So market open comes, internal sweep there. Gonna wait to see if we do come above this point in price. Let's go to the 2 minute here. What are we seeing? Yeah, 2 minute as well. Low, high, lower, low. So we do have a potential break rate right there. So again, looking to see what price does here to this point. If we get the retest, I would likely take a shot at longs. Why? Damage has been done to the downside, so we could just look to see if price wants to come to these highs in the direction of those draws for price. Equal highs here that we can take partials out of. Let's see if we get the retest here. So we do. Again, unfortunately, you know, there's no limit entries here, so it would be a market entry right here. That's just what it is. And we'll scale out just a bit of our position at the equal highs there. So what it would look like would be an entry here rather than here, which is 12 points, which is quite significant, but we're gonna back this. So there's TP1 tapped. That's just the reality of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my stops to what break even would be. And what the rest of the position does, it does. So again, that's 4 profitable trades and break even on the remaining position. So to recap, 4 trades in 5 days, 4 wins, 0 losses, 1 partial win, 3 full take profit wins, limiting myself to the 15-minute time frame and under, no higher time frame bias, no higher time frame draws, picking a random point in time. This is not planned. As you can see, you saw when I picked a random point in time. So using this backtesting, 100% win rate, very nice price action, showing you how I operate in the markets, locating the likely draws for price time and time again. I hope this was insightful. I hope you gained some value out of this. I want you to study this, do it for yourself, see the results. Good luck, good trading, and take care, everybody.
Move fast. Get rewarded faster with funded next.